With how BBU is playing, you have to figure they're going to be able to avoid those demos at least for a game. But it's the old adage of how long can you play or how long can you stay away from the tagger, right? Like it's only a matter of time before they end up catching you because it's a lot harder to stay perfect avoiding demos than it is to end up getting a demo. And so I think it's just a matter of time for Cuties before they start getting those demos on BBU. It's just a matter of how long is it going to take, and is BBU able to build a lead before then?
Yeah, but we got another best of three here on our Hail Brancy. My goodness, almost getting that one in. Not able to find the angle, but best of three here in the lower finals. Winner is going to move on to take on Striker and the best of seven with a one-game deficit in the grand finals. Tank, already a couple of strong opportunities. See how it continues to play out, how these teams settle in.
Yeah, and BBU doing a good job of. Well, no, I didn't finish my statement. Doesn't count. Nice 50 here from Caleb. Actually, it was just a nice beat. I was wrong. I thought Chirp got a touch on it, but that one just sent back downfield. And, you know, the wise coach Azera once said it was over 60 miles an hour. It wasn't savable anyways.
It wasn't savable because ain't nobody able to get to that in time. It was, you know what? I'll call it a quasi double commit coming out. Oh, it's BBU going for the bump and adding a little wrinkle. Like I said, not something that they tend to gravitate towards, but definitely in their repertoire, not able to pick it up that time. But again, that's putting it in the back of the Cuties' head. Hey, we can go for bumps. We can go for demos too. Are you going to be looking out for that? And is that going to hesitate a little too much? And Dilly apparently he's chosen violence.
Yeah, as Caleb did not have his head on a swivel for that one, as he slowly rolls through back post, and Dilly said, "Oh, you are mine," and opens up the entire net for a beautifully placed shot there to finish it off from Chirp. And if you can get those two going and connecting on the field, BBU's a really tough team to beat because Brancy is a phenomenal midfield third man that if he has two people that can back him up on the front end, it almost turns into a lockdown defense on the other side.
Yeah, but you know that's also again we don't know how much these teams know each other. Obviously, you and I have seen BBU Black Sewer Rats many a time. Again, that's why we're kind of confused by this. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're as confused and as awesome a shot as that is, be sure to put that one in, as I know Dilly will. The TWIL top 5. Whoo, Dilly, what an angle.
Yeah, a beautiful top Cheddar Bardowski coming out from Dilly there, just getting a little bit of love off the crossbar as he's still up for this one. Gets a nice beat over low there as Chirp comes over the top, tries to dunk that one. Caleb's going to be awkward in the corner, going to get bumped off. Brancy picks this one up, wanted to get the 50 out mid, but time. Nice little beat there, and Dilly almost gets the fake and almost a bump into Caleb. Couldn't quite finish that one off. Brancy up quick. Dilly caught in a 3v1 for a second. But Cuties just a little bit slow to the pressure there. Something that we haven't been able to say this entire tournament so far.
You were saying?
I said that rotation. Thank you.
You were saying?
Logan is saying, listen, I can get that faster than anybody, not once, but twice, with the pass to himself off that back wall. Beautifully done, finding the angle, sticking it just inside near post, and tying us up at 2 apiece. But again, how well do these teams know each other? That's what we've seen from Cuties throughout the night. Going for those solo plays, typically you'd expect somebody to pass that to a teammate, and Loja's like, no, I'm passing to myself. I got this.
Yeah, I mean, just getting that really good corner read. We all know how hard it is to, get the touch you want out of the corner, but able to read any touch that comes out of the corner because you have to be able to react to anything. As Brancy and Chirp both getting demos here, but all for naught as Logan just able to clear it right back downfield. Time throws this one high off back while Caleb's up for it. Had the beat, but just a little too high, but doing a good job of forcing BBU to expend all of their boost to try and stop these super high shots. And this is where they start to panic a little bit.
Yes, that ball just continue. Somehow the ceiling does not exist as those balls they are flying close to the sun but not touching it. And that is where cuties like to be. Just get those reads, get everyone's eyes looking up to the sky, and they can start picking people off one by one until a panic ensues and they're able to get a goal off of it. BBU doing a great job so far, but it looks like the pressure is starting to mount in the cuties' favor.
Yeah, and right there, a good opportunity, just no second man to follow. I think they're a little worried of the quick counters that we've been seeing out of BBU with that pressure and demos coming out as Dilly throws this one far side. Time's going to pick up that corner, but Chirp almost had a free shot there, just a little slow to it. Gets the demo on Caleb, opens up a little bit of space for his team to get back and try and recover. But Logan keeping the pressure going here. Time with the shot, Francie. What a save on the goal line to keep this one tied at twos.
Yeah, as that one looked like it was going to go in for sure is Chirp. The ceiling exists for Chirp as the 50 to the moon and back finds its way to sneak underneath that crossbar, and a gift for BBU.
Yeah, a gift is a nice way of putting it. Chirp just getting the lucky bounce off the ceiling and finding the perfect angle for that one to fall in and able to hold off the kickoff here for at least a second. But BBU just killed a ton of time with that kickoff there as we are now under 20 seconds to play. Chirp trying to get the read, double coming out. Logan not able to get that one off as time tries to get a pass out mid. Caleb's going to be there for the 50, but Brancy doing a smart job of just throwing that to the sidewall and killing. Another 8 seconds of clock here as we're finally down to our last couple seconds. Dilly keeps this one up. Brancy's going to try and kill it. Keeps it up instead. Throws it into the corner. Goes for the double. And that one's going to drop, and the Rats come storming back to take game one.
Yeah, and again, with a gift. And being able to get that one high off the ceiling as Cuties looked like they were starting to wrestle control in their favor. We saw those high flying balls. You're getting the eyes of everyone from BBU looking up, and that's where the demos are easy to get. You're able to get those attacks, get those bumps, get those demos, and then just somebody follow up, get an easy touch, an easy goal, and yet they just weren't quite able to take advantage of this. BBU doing a great job of getting on the back wall, protecting themselves, and protecting their net by being at a higher plane and being relatively even with the ball. Finding that attack level, finding a way to get to it without putting themselves in danger, and they're going to need to continue to do that as I think the Cuties have found their recipe for success. It's just about execution.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's the little change-ups, the little changes of paces that really affect teams greatly.
Oh, nice pass!
Time's up for this one. Chirp's going to miss the touch. Brancy able to throw it along back wall and try and clear it out. Not going to be there. Caleb with the shot, and Brancy with the great defense yet again, saving that one on the goal line. And he just doesn't want me to continue my thoughts on BBU.
Nobody on that team wants you to continue your thoughts on BBU. Let's just be honest with it. But Chirp City wants to continue his thoughts on scoring goals, gets it by one. And again, you talked about it. The corner of lies, how difficult it is to read, especially as that's coming at you. No problem for Chirp City. It just gets a beautiful little catch on the back of that car and whips it on by near post.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the big thing here in this next game is they got so used to high-flying offense. They're playing mechanical, trying to play up in the air as much as they can. And so for me, I was going to say the team that's able to slow it down and get those ground plays going are going to throw off the other one, and that's exactly what Chirp did there. I mean, the rest of Cuties expecting that bang coming out of the corner and trying to throw it up high to back wall, and it just caught him off guard when Chirp said, nah, I'm just going to catch it and get a little flick instead. And that is really the difference maker here in this game so far, is BBU's doing a good job of adapting and changing while still staying true to who they are.
I haven't seen enough own goals for them to stay true to who they are. I'm just
You know what I mean. The good parts of who they are.
okay. That's fair. It's now a 2v1 Logan trying to avoid the bump, and he and Caleb able to get back in time to save that. Beautifully done, and just stalling out long enough to be able to get back for the save. But we're seeing a ton of pressure from BBU, and I'm not gonna lie, I am surprised by how aggressive BBU is trying to be in the physicality of the series.
Well, yeah, and I mean they know how cuties like to play, and sometimes you got to fight fire with fire, but it also allows them to keep their foot on the pedal, right? When you're keeping this pressure, you keep going for bumps and demos, you're being hyper aggressive and physical. It allows you to not snap out of your game plan and start playing passive because you're just in that go, go, go mode. And that's kind of where BBU struggled in the past is they let up as soon as they get a lead. They try and play defense and just let the other team get a ton of opportunities. But this one, they're like, no, it's working for us. Let's keep it going. Let's try and get that security goal so we can go up 2 with just a couple minutes left and kind of lock up this series and move on to the grand finals.
Booming clear coming down. We're seeing a little bit of pressure come out from the Cuties, but it seems hesitant. And like you said, you talked about last series, they seem almost tentative and scared of the transitional play from BBU. As they get the ball in the corner, it's just sitting there stalling, and you're not seeing an aggressive move. You're not seeing somebody rotate through the ball, go for a bump, and someone else follow it up. They're just sitting there playing for the 50, which is completely unlike what we've seen from them in other series. And I gotta wonder, is it because they're at 3.5 hours of play here in this tournament? Or is it something that BBU is doing to them that is making them tentative?
Well, I think a lot of it is BBU's managing their boost, right? Like they're keeping them low so they can't get up and get that aggressive play going. They can't get up the supersonic like they want. And so they have to play for a 50 so they can pick up a mid or pick up some pennies or allow their teammates to get back and pick up their corners to try and play that way. And that's the killer for the teams that play with this fast, aggressive, demo-heavy style is if you start taking a couple of their big pads out of the corner,
oh, what a drop!
They don't have the ability to counter and keep that play up.
Oh, that was nearly a TWIL top play for sure. It's a drop from Logan. Nobody was able to follow it up, and yeah, right on point. He gets up there, he gets that drop, but where were his teammates? Back getting their own corners because they just didn't have the boost to be able to follow up to confidently, if they don't get a touch, make it back in time and be in support on defense. But you're down to the final 20 seconds. Nice save from Caleb, but it is now all out. It is do or die here for the Cuties, and they get the demo on Brancy. Shot coming out from Logan, not able to get it. Dilly kicking the ball to the corner. Caleb there. Brancy, strong catch on the back wall, able to get a couple more touch, and the BBU Black Sewer Rats get a 2-0 victory and will move on to the grand finals.
Yeah, they need to give a chirp, pat on the back there, carrying their offense with 1 goal on 5 shots. The only one with shots on their team, somehow. But, I mean, that's kind of the weird part with Rats. You sometimes only need 1 player to come away with a win there. And, I mean, that 1 player was Chirp in that game, where Brancy and Dilly were able to sit back, play defense, steal boost, get a couple bumps, and open up that space. And for Cuties, I think it's like what you said. We're now 3.5 hours into this tournament, and your stamina starts to wane a little bit. Where these BBU guys have played together so long, they know how to kind of keep some of that momentum and keep some of that stamina for late in rounds.
Yeah, and it's curious, and that's something that you don't really talk about with these tournaments is the stamina game of it, that mental of it. How do you keep yourself pumped? Because again, BB Cigarettes, they lost in round number 1. They have played all their way through the lowers and just continue to play the entire way through. So good on them. And you know, it can play both sides. You know, you don't have that break. You just continue to roll. Or sometimes you get a break and it's just like, oh, now we have to get back into it. It's been so long. So it's going to be interesting to see how that comes through with Striker Esports. But speaking of break, we're going to have a quick 5-minute break here or so while we get things set up for our grand final match. But when we come back, it will be Striker Esports versus BBU Black Cigarettes in a best of 7 in the grand finals for this tournament. Don't go anywhere. We're rapidly becoming.